It is one of the most competitive divisions in baseball this year, and we're talking about the National League West. I'm here, guys, to present to you first time collaborating with gentleman, Mr. Dylan Grausz. Dylan, thank you for joining me today. How are you, man?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Great season for baseball this year. The National League West is obviously a great division out on the West Coast, so definitely a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. Mike, thank you for having me on today.
For sure, man. Well, the season started. I mean, everybody knew coming in that the Dodgers, they're looking like the Avengers right now with, on paper, everybody that they have on their roster. But the San Diego Padres, the way they kickstarted the season for many people, it was like, whoa, like we didn't see this coming, especially the fact that you lost Blake Snell. You lost all these several key pieces in this offseason. But what Jackson Merrill was doing with Fernando Tatis Jr., I love that he's playing the superstar that he is.
Right.
Um, they have a lot of things going for them. As long as they stay healthy and as long as they produce, sky's the limit for the Padres. This was a team that was one win away from sending the Dodgers home in the division series. Game four changed everything. So the Padres, they came into the season with something to prove. And then you see the Giants, they added Willie Adames and they have other pieces that, that is very intriguing. Arizona Diamondbacks, say what you want about them. I will not count that team out until the World Series 2 seasons ago. So that's a talented team as well. So you have four teams in this division that, you know, it's a long season, so this thing can go anywhere. But and the fact that you have the playoff expansion, this is not the 80s. This is not even the 90s. We're talking about, two wildcard teams that could get in.
Right.
So anything can happen this season, but this is a very exciting division. And what are your thoughts so far on this season so far?
It's interesting because going into the year, I knew the NL West would be the most competitive division in baseball, or one of at least, because you have like you said, you have the Padres who have a young team. They got Jackson Merrill, who's probably going to be their franchise guy. He's only 21, I believe, or 22. The Diamondbacks, they got Corbin Carroll, who's still young. They just signed Corbin Burns to that long contract. Christian Walker can still hit. And then the Giants, they got Adames, they got, Webb, they got Patrick Bailey, they got all these guys. And I think it's one of those divisions where I could see three out of the four teams. I could see all of those teams that we talked about making the playoffs. You got probably the Dodgers or the Padres that will win the division, I think. But then you have the Giants and the Diamondbacks that are going to fight for a wild card spot. And honestly, I could see one of those teams taking it. And so I could see four out of the five teams in the playoffs in the NL West. I've seen, just a lot of good stuff, especially out of San Francisco. The Giants this year, the type of team that they're finding ways to win. I don't know if you saw Sunday's game, but they won in that Little League home run, and they just keep finding ways to win. I feel like the NL West, when you look at that division as a whole, it's just top to bottom, such a great division. The Rockies are the one team that are like, kind of struggling a lot. But I think when you look at the Diamondbacks, they don't have a heavy payroll, so they're able to afford all these guys, and they're going to be good for a while. You look at the Dodgers are struggling a bit only because they have guys on the DL for pitching. I believe Blake Snell's on the IL right now. Glasnow's coming back from an injury. Kershaw won't be back probably till June or July. So the Dodgers have a thin pitching staff, but they have a lot of guys in their farm that can make an impact. And just, I think this race is gonna be great, heading into May and June and July through the end of the season.
Tell Marte he's gonna be a Diamondback for life.
Yep.
I'm signing a 7-year extension. I like Perdomo. I like what he
Yep.
brings to the team. Gabriel Moreno, I've been following him since days with the Blue Jays. He's a gamer. I like him. So I really respect that Diamondbacks team, and I really want them to make the playoffs out of those four teams. I want them and the Padres. I just like both of those teams. I like their chemistry, their camaraderie. So I wish them the best. I know what the Dodgers can do. Tommy Edman, I mean, this guy, he is just find ways to put the ball in play and find the ways, to produce. The Dodgers, they almost blew it last night against the Marlins, and then he came through with that game-winning 2 run single to win in the 10th. Yamamoto, he's just sensational. He's been
Yeah.
sensational this year. I mean, when you have guys like him, Otani, and Roki Sasaki, I mean, when Sasaki and Yamamoto, when they start to get more comfortable, it's gonna be a nightmare for teams.
Yeah, and I think Sasaki too, like, if you look at him, he's a very raw pitcher still. He's still coming into the MLB from Japan. It's a much different, adjustment. I think Sasaki will be fine. His control's not there yet. He's throwing a lot of balls, he's walking a lot of guys, but he throws hard and he has a good repertoire of pitches. So I think he will figure it out. And I think once the Dodgers get back Otani, I think they're gonna have the best one, two, three in baseball with him, Sasaki, Yamamoto. And then you get Glasnow back. He's going to be a stud. And then that fifth starter spot, yeah, you got Snell, but Snell may be out for a little bit because his shoulder's messed up. But then you got guys like Dustin May. You got guys like Gavin Stone. You got all those guys that can, come step up if needed. I think the thing that makes LA such a lethal team, other than the fact that they have a bunch of superstars, is the fact that they have a lot of reserves and bullpen guys and farm guys on their team that can come up and be impact players if needed. And I think with baseball being such a long season, I think that that is the most important thing that an MLB team can have.
I agree. Dustin May, I like what he's bringing to the table for the Dodgers, especially this season.
Yeah,
Giant center fielder Jung Hoo Lee, I feel that he's a star in the making. He is
yeah,
26 years old. He's 26 years old. He's hitting 324 this season, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs. I really like this guy. I feel that he's a star in the making. I could be wrong, but from what I'm seeing so far, the Giants have something really special ahead of them, and I just hope he stays healthy.
Yeah, I think Jung Hoo Lee last year was one of those seasons where I think he was trending in the right direction of being a star until he got hurt. I think having him back this season healthy and now pretty much having a full season under his belt of the MLB, I think Jung Hoo Lee's contract is going to be one of the better contracts that the Giants have given out. At least, I mean, I know Buster Posey didn't give him that contract, but at least, I mean, I kind of put him under the Posey era now. At least under the Posey era, it's going to be one of the better contracts they've given out. Jung Hoo Lee's a very versatile player. He's probably the closest thing to a five-tool player the Giants have, just because he's fast, he can field, he can hit, he can do it all. So I think that he's going to be, I think he will definitely be an all-star this year. And I do think by the end of the season, he's going to be on the list of one of the top not players, but one of the top outfielders in the entire league, I think.
Yeah, he's slowly starting to win me over. So I really like what he's doing with this Giants team, especially this season. So final question to you, Dylan. If you have to put in order, um, who will finish first, second, third, and fourth in the NL West?
I think the Dodgers are going to win just because I think the Dodgers are built for a marathon, not a sprint. Just because, it's early season. I know their record, is not Dodger like, quote unquote, but I think they'll be fine. They're going to get guys back. Second half of the season, I think, is really going to be where they make their money. A lot of those guys are built for that. So Dodgers coming first. I think the Pods put the Padres at yeah, I'd put the Padres at second just because I feel like the Padres are the type of team that they have a younger team, I think, and they have guys who are more durable. The Giants, I think, will finish third only because they have a great team, but they have an older team in some regards. Like Verlander, I'm not sure is going to last the whole season. I think he's going to be prone to missing some time. I think Adames in the past, he's been pretty healthy, but he's 29, 30, and the Giants are expecting a lot out of him. So I think he's going to be a guy who hopefully stays durable all year, but I'm not too sure. So the Giants, I think, will finish third just because in the past they've had some health concerns. And then I think the Diamondbacks will finish fourth, not because they're not a great team, but I think the Diamondbacks, when you look at their roster compared to the Giants, Padres, and Diamondbacks, I think they have the quote unquote weakest of the four. Not to say that they're a weak team, but the four. And then obviously the Rockies are going to come in last just because the Rockies are struggling this year. But I think that that would be the 1 through 4. Now, any of those teams could win. I think that that's a fluid order. But I think that right now, based on what I'm seeing and what I think will happen the rest of the year, I think that'll be the top four.
That sounds pretty much right. I don't disagree. I mean, when you look at everything, those are just four good teams that's just, competing in the same division. But Dylan, thank you so much. This was great collaborating with you for the
Yes,
first
sir.
time. Looking forward to hopefully this is the first of many more to come.
Yes, sir.
Um, but yeah, it's a very interesting time. I always say that April and October are the two best months when it comes to sports because so much is going on. And yes, we're heading into the conclusion of April, but there's just so many interesting things going on in variety of sports,
Oh, yeah.
especially baseball. And when you see, new prospects, new talent, new storylines, that's what makes the game so exciting.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but yeah, like I said, Junsu Lee, he's something special.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season what this
No, I
division
will.
brings to the
I
table.
will
The
say
AL
there
East
is
is another one.
right.
The AL East is another one.
Yeah, and I will say there is one prospect who I'm looking forward to maybe seeing this year. Bryce Eldridge of the Giants. He's the 20-year-old first baseman. And that dude, if I don't know if you know much about him, but Bryce Eldridge he's got power. He's the type of guy who the Giants could put in their lineup, and he's going to give them a lot of home runs. He's not up yet, but he's a player that'll be fun to watch down the line. So he's just one of many prospects in that division who I think are going to be coming up down the line and making a big impact on their teams.
Well, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'm gonna look up and learn more about him
Yes, sir.
because there's a couple of prospects that I'm aware, especially from the Tampa Bay Rays side, Cincinnati Reds, Boston Red Sox. I feel they're gonna be scary in the future,
Yep.
as we
They
can
got a lot of
see
good
with
prospects
a
too
lot
that
of
I'm excited
prospects.
for.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely.
And what we're seeing nowadays with baseball is that they're locking these guys early and on, giving them long-term extension.
Yep.
So I've been following baseball for 25 years, and it's just unbelievable the evolution that I'm seeing in terms of locking these young players early on, 10 to 15-year contracts, which is crazy. But
Jackson
hey,
Merrill got
hey,
a
hey, that's the situation that
Yep.
we're in.
I believe Jackson Merrill got I want to say like 7 or 8 year, something crazy from the Padres. Corbin Carroll, I want to say after that World Series season, even before, I believe he got like a long-term deal. So I think that the cool thing about baseball is, what's different from other sports is, yes, while these guys haven't, been in the league for long in terms of major leagues, I think baseball is unique in the sense where if a player shows that they have a lot of promise and they're the type of guy that can shine in the minor leagues, I think they're worth putting a lot of money into just because of the nature of the game, right? If you're a young star, you're durable, you can play. I think that baseball, it's not like the NFL where you're one injury away from getting hurt necessarily or whatever. It's just much more of if you have the talent, you deserve to get a chance to really be the face of your team. So I really love the way that baseball's been evolving. I love the way the direction it's going, and I hope that we're able to continue to see that so that the notion of baseball being a dying sport kind of goes away. Because I've noticed that a lot of when you look at the NBA, the NFL, all these other sports, the MLB is kind of third on the list, quote unquote. So it'd be cool just to see, the direction. I like the direction it's going, and I want to see it continue to grow so that the sport can keep thriving.